Hello book friends, welcome back. My name is Mel and it is so lovely to have you here. Today we are going to be doing a if you like this kind of book, you will like this kind of book video. If you are over on my Instagram, which is at melreviewsherbooks, I have asked you on my stories what you would like to see from my channel early on and you all picked this video. Before we get in, I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of information about me as to where my recommendations come from and kind of give a little bit of context as to how I'm giving them to you. So for about 6.5 years, I was a bookseller at a local bookshop. I managed that bookshop for about 2.5 years, and during that time that I was bookselling and book managing, I started my Bookstagram account, Mel Reviews Her Books, and I also started a book blog where I would review books, I'd get sent books, I would interview authors as an online article type of forum, but then on my Bookstagram I would also come over and for a whole year I interviewed one author once per month on a Saturday morning and we chatted about their new release book and we talked for about 15 to 20 minutes. Those videos are actually still on my Mel Reviews Her Books Bookstagram, so you can go and have a look there if you would like. After I finished up as a bookseller and I was kind of seeking new avenues of what I'd actually studied at university to go and work in, I created a book festival also for my local region. So it's called the Riverina Readers Festival. There's a little sign in the background here. That was a space where I could creatively continue to have my finger on the pulse of what was happening in the book industry, have fantastic relationships with authors, with publishing houses, with representatives and publicists, which was always so much fun when I was a bookseller. I also still have the ability to now plan a book event or multiple book events around the year. With all of that being said, to my core, I love reading and I love providing book recommendations. So a lot of you book friends that are here, I met through that wonderful experience of being a bookseller, and many of you have continued to come and seek me out for book recommendations, which I absolutely love. So this is kind of taking us back to old school bookseller Mel, where if you walked through the doors of my bookshop, these are the kinds of recommendations that I would be giving you. So let's get straight into them. So my first recommendation, I think it's absolutely essential that I start with the pinnacle of my reading experiences and where my love for books came from. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. The recommendation I would give you if you enjoyed Throne of Glass, the whole series by Sarah J. Maas, is actually Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. They have two strong female main characters, and the love story that goes through these two books, the male is so supportive and takes a step back when the female main character is kind of coming into her magic and learning more about herself. They definitely don't overpower her. They allow her to grow and understand and learn new information as it's being fed to them. I also love that we learn about what's happening in the female main character's world as they're learning about it. We're being shown, we're not being told what's happening, we're experiencing it with them, which makes us feel more connected to them, but also more connected to the world and the people around them. Speaking of the people around them, there are so many found family elements in these two books. I think that when we have had a main character be plucked out of their regular world and put into a magical world or into new experiences that they certainly didn't expect, and it's just changed their whole world upside down, the elements of found family are always so much stronger. Usually you have the humorous one, you have the really loving maternal type of one, you might have the one that's a little bit cheeky and might kind of be a bit playful and affectionate in a cousinly type of way. But then in that band of found family, you've also got the main romantic character, which is always really nice because you get to see a different side of the romantic main character than what they kind of portray to the broader society or broader community. And that's where you often see the softness of, in these instances, the male main character, which makes you fall in love with them even more. These aren't high fantasy, and I'm not a high fantasy reader. I haven't dabbled enough to kind of fall in love with that high fantasy and intricacy of magic systems. So I like that these systems aren't hard to understand. They're enjoyable, and because we're seeing them through the main character's eyes, like I mentioned earlier, it means that we don't feel overwhelmed because we're consuming that information as they're consuming it. I would also finally say that the plot points are perfectly paced in these two series. With Pencoll, we're not even finished yet. Like, we still have a few books to go. Book 3 is published at the moment, so we're waiting on book 4, whereas Throne of Glass is complete and you can go and read that whole series, and I would recommend both. So next I want to chat about the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage and the Snowy Mountain series by Alyssa Callan. I do not know how I found these two at the same time, but oh my goodness, the similarities and the feelings and the love and the plots, they are incredibly similar. So in the first book for both, it's brother's best friend trope. In the second book for both, it is renovations being done and there's a stranger that's come to town. In the third book, we have female sister's best friend ends up with brother. And then in the fourth book, we have family, child, single parent type of element. It's actually quite crazy how similar these two are. These are both interconnected standalone series. So you can pick them up at different times and put them down at different times and you'll kind of still be able to read a whole story in one novel. There are still so many differences. So Alyssa Callan is set in Australia. Lila Sage is set in the US. Something I would say about Lila Sage's books is that the characters face more internal battles with themselves, which prevent them from moving ahead in their relationships that they're forming, or might be a challenge in their family dynamic or in their workplace dynamic. Whereas Alyssa Callan's books, there are more external challenges that the characters face. So it could be a crime or a mystery, something that's left unanswered that the two main characters need to work together to be able to discover and uncover what had happened. And while they're doing that, they're having that time together to develop their romantic relationship. Oh my goodness, I could not recommend both of them enough. The Alyssa Callan books have been like 24-hour audiobook reads to me. I have listened to all of them on BorrowBox. I'm pretty certain it's only Australia and New Zealand, but if you are a library member, you can log on to the app. You can download it for free from Apple and Android, and you can borrow up to 6 ebooks and 6 audiobooks at one time. And then all of the Lila Sage books, I've either Kindled, physical book, or have listened to on Spotify, and both of them are 24-hour reads for me. So I would highly recommend all of these books. The next books that I would say if you like this, you would like this, would be Tessa Bailey's Hot Shot Sporty series and Abra Pressler's Love and Other Scores. Abra is Australian and Tessa Bailey is from the US. Tessa Bailey writes quite spicy books. They are always romance, but they always have fantastic banter and you love the characters. You become very immersed and connected in these books within like a 24-hour to 48-hour period. Abra Pressler's Love and Other Scores was exactly like that for me. This is a standalone book. We have 2 male main characters who are falling in love at the time of the Australian Open. So it kind of happens over that short period of time, about like 2-3 weeks, because one is a pro tennis player. And then in the Tessa Bailey books, these main characters are either pro golfers, hockey players. We've got a pro baseball player coming very soon. All of these books you can read as standalones. They are interconnected because they're all in the same world and some of the characters know one another, they're friends, or they have family connections. So I would say that Tessa Bailey is more spicy than what Abra is. We do still have open door scenes that are happening here, but I would say that even though we get more open door scene in here, we get more giddy butterflies, grinning, and just having the best romantic time in Abra's book as well. So if you're looking for sporty romances, these are 2 that I would highly recommend. Then the last 2 might actually be books that you may not have even heard of before. One of these books is one of my favorite authors, and another one was a new author that I discovered because of the author talks that I mentioned before when I was interviewing authors for a year, once a month. This author reached out to me and asked if I would be open to reading their brand new debut, and I said absolutely. So the favorite author that I'm talking about is Beth O'Leary with her book The Switch, and the book that I would say you would really enjoy if you enjoyed this would be Birds of a Feather by Rihanna King. Rihanna King is Australian. This book follows a young woman who doesn't really fit into her family but just won the lottery. She keeps it to herself. The only person she does tell is her grandmother. She wants to know if there's anything that her grandmother would want to do because she's always been that connecting person person for her and her family, and her grandmother says she would love to go and find her first love, who is in the UK. So they go on an adventure together, and at the same time our main character is also falling in love herself and kind of changing the way that she does things too. The switch is around a grandmother and a granddaughter who switch lives because they're both in a bit of a funk and things aren't working the way that they would hope for them to. The grandmother goes to London and the granddaughter goes to the English countryside. Both of them are having experiences that are kind of changing their life and mixing things up compared to how they usually are. Their relationship, but also the romantic relationships that they start to have, are really, really fantastic and quite comparable to this. So I would highly recommend these two. These kind of sit more in just the general fiction section, but have great elements of romance running through them. Now that I've given you my full thoughts and feelings, I wanted to do a quick rapid round where I don't give you anything apart from, if you would like this book, you would like this book. So let's go. I think that if you enjoyed the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni, you would really enjoy the Ruined trilogy by Amy Tintera. I also think that if you enjoyed The Paper Palace by Miranda Crowley Heller, you would really enjoy Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. Third and final rapid, if you enjoyed Wayward by Amelia Hart, I think you would really enjoy The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This one's an oldie, but it's a goodie. So these are just some of the books that I would recommend to you. If you have liked one, you would like another. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I always love watching these types of videos. I just think that having someone recommend you books based off what you really do enjoy or have enjoyed at another period of time leads you on a path to success for your next book. If you've enjoyed the book vibes in this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to come and follow me on Mel Reviews Her Books at Instagram. That's where I ask all you guys for recommendations on what you would like to watch, what you'd like to see me read. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.